the sponsors are. I think we did a whole show this morning. We live call-in show. We didn't mention California Hormones, but they're the sponsor. But we had Philip Kelly on, but we didn't tell people to go to California Hormones.
Not explicitly, but we had the banner. You talked about it. People knew it was coming from them, working with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mooney. Bam, we're live. I just think that it's just our sponsors are so crazy. We never have to like plug them. Like no one, like Sarah never calls or Gabe never calls and is like, hey, you didn't do this or you didn't do that. And the thing is that we had a guy on who's telling his story of his journey with California Hormones, and we never mentioned, and California Hormones is paying for it, and we didn't mention their sponsorship. I just think that and I never get a call from Sarah or anyone over there on her team who's like, hey, dipshit, you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain.
Yeah, did you see my like posture there? I was even like cowering, like feeling like we should have done that because they're so awesome to us.
Hey, and they don't even ask us to do those follow-ups. Like, for anyone who's wondering, like they don't tell us, hey, we have to do a show with Philip Kelly. We just decided, hey, let's follow up with these guys. And maybe Philip's going to say it's horrible and ruin the whole sponsorship for us. Javier, what's up, dude?
Hey, how are y'all?
Good. It would be like if we sent Javier Paper Street Coffee and he's like, this tastes like shit. Like, oops.
Well, that would never happen. Never had it.
Well, I have to get you some Javier Paper Street Coffee.
I should try it.
And a CEO. We're gonna send you some.
I was about to say, it looks like I need a CEO shirt there.
Yeah, you definitely. What size are you?
Large.
Okay. I'll send you a text. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said extra medium.
Okay, perfect.
Medium. Hey, real quick before we start, Soccer Mom was super nice and sent me a pair of like her husband's unused Nano 2s. And
Are you kidding me?
No, and I got them like a week or two at the gym, and I'd like set them aside, and I just kept forgetting to make like a post or anything about it. And I saw that she was in the comments earlier. I don't know if she's still here live, but Soccer Mom, thank you so much. I super appreciate it.
What size were they?
My size 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she messaged the podcast Instagram, and I happened to see it when I was in Wadapalooza putting something to it. And I was like, yeah, I wear those. She's like, all right, awesome. So she sent them over. Thank you.
You can start wearing your Noble now. Just kidding. Here, this is a picture of her and Stacy Tovar. Right?
Yeah, that looks like it. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a huge fan of Stacy Tovar. As you guys know, we have our twisted story together. Do you know our twisted story, mine and Stacy Tovar, Javier?
I don't know.
Basically, I did a podcast with her with the CrossFit podcast, and we started talking about the birth control she was on and how it affected her performance at the games, and basically how she wished she wouldn't have taken it.
Oh, yeah.
And how the other athletes were telling her, like, yeah, when we got off this birth control, which is birth control is just fancy word for hormones, right?
Right.
These kind of hormones, we got stronger. And then the New York Times, when they were attacking Greg, they made sure to put a paragraph in there about me, about how I was creepy, and talked to a girl about their menses and their birth control. And the funny thing is I never went back and watched it because I was afraid of that the New York Times might be telling the truth and that I might have been creepy about it. And then flash forward 2 years, and Andrew Hiller did a piece defending me, and he showed that clip. And if I was creepy, that's as gentlemanly as I can be. I mean, I was so sincere and gentlemanly, and I was wearing a clean shirt and
Hey, one thing is she posted it and defended you. Stacy Tovar herself. That's a big
of course,
piece.
Yes.
It's like way before Hiller made the video, she posted something. And she was like, this is why there's a stigma around talking about this because of things like this. It's like, this isn't good. So she did that as well, too.
Well, I listened to your podcast with Elliot. Holsey? Is that how you say that? Elliot.
Well, the guy who had the one of the first guys to have like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, the black guy. Yeah,
he had some thoughts on birth control.
Yeah. I mean, a shitload of who just talked about it with us extensively. I think Sarah Sigmund's daughter or someone brought it up.
Sarah did, yeah. Like she went.
If you're a female athlete, you should not be taking that stuff. That's for sure. I don't think.
Or timing it right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you should be messing with your hormones. If you plan on being a professional athlete, I don't think you should mess with your hormones. Period. Isn't that the kind of the foundation of the zone diet? Not to mess with your hormones. Go ahead, Javier. You were going to say something.
No, you're talking to the wrong guy about that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, like, you're in the fitness industry and you're working with men and women. I mean, this stuff comes up. I can't tell you how many times, you have people talk to you about that. Like, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, I'm sorry, I'm a guy. I can't talk to you about,
right. Your menses.
Yeah, right.
And it also is relevant to obviously pregnant women and their flexibility issues and all the chemicals that their bodies produce during their pregnancy to prepare their whole pelvic region, and their stomach and all that shit to prepare to give birth to a baby. But that's what Sarah was saying. Sarah was saying that she was drawing a correlation between her injury and her menses, and basically saying that I think it was during her menses she was either more or less flexible, and she thinks that there could be a serious relationship there that needs to be looked at, that women need to be like cater their training, especially their peak top end training, to their menses. And right then my mom texts me, stop talking about menses. No.
Did she really?
No. She would never do that.
Like three dudes on here.
Dude, I grew up with my mom and my sister. I was a pro I was desensitized and I was a pro at a young age.
Yeah, I'll get out a whiteboard. We can talk through it, diagram it out.
Katie, very grateful for part 2. Yeah, me too. This is going to be cool.
Oh, cool.
This is
Thanks,
gonna
Katie.
be cool.
For you, Katie.
For those of you who didn't see part 1, this will definitely be good. You don't need to see part 1. You should go back and see part 1, but this will be good enough to be a standalone for you too. We have Javier Jaime. He is the owner of CrossFit OTL. Although that may be not true, we're going to find out for that for sure today, because what it sounds like is that this gym is part of his kids' continued education.
Yeah.
That, we had that guy, Matthew Boudreau, on here, who runs the Acton Academies. He owns 3 schools. And basically the premise of those schools is that the kids run the schools. They hire the teachers. They do the cooking for the food. They run the finances. Part of their education is running the school. And it sounds like that is something that you did. So I want to go back a little bit, Javier, and ask, like, you had started by saying basically you didn't home, and then we'll get to how that got integrated into the CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
You didn't think you were going to homeschool your kids, and your kids weren't homeschooled. And you have 3 kids, right?
No, we have 2.
Two. Okay, yeah. One boy and 1 girl. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So no homeschooling for you. You were going to do just public education.
Well, we were going to do an education. How's that? Private school is the choice we took. Right. Early on in my career, I was doing security sales. I was selling like video cameras and access control systems into school districts.
Okay.
And sometimes you get a peek behind the curtain at what goes on in those places, and you're like, I don't know about that, And so I was doing security systems for a really large and very well-off school district in town, and I was visiting with a security director, and he was telling me all these things that were going on in this very exclusive school district. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, it doesn't really matter, which one you're in. There's always things like that. But yeah, we had decided to go private school after we had contemplated homeschool. We did the private school for 3 years with my daughter, 1 year with my son, and then we decided to homeschool at that point. So it was a 3rd grade for my daughter in kindergarten, 1st grade officially for my son.
And neither you or your wife had been homeschooled.
That's right. Both of us went to public schools and universities. Yeah.
Elizabeth Michael, Beyond the Pill. I think she's recommending that. Beyond the Pill.
Okay. I don't
Jolene
know.
Brighton. All right, put that on if that author's still alive, I'll read that book, because I only read books where I could potentially have the author on my show. Thank you.
Jolene's kicking.
I'm gonna write that name down though, because that would be awesome to bring in an expert. Jolene Bright. There you go. Look at you. Oh yeah, she looks like she's still alive.
Oh, okay. This is about the menstrual thing.
Yeah. Sorry. We can't stand subject here. And so the kids...
I didn't know if it was like the red pill, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that at first too. Yes, the red pill. Okay, so then you put in, neither you or your wife have been homeschooled. Were you scared? Like when my wife talked about homeschooling, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a moron. I wanted to be like, maybe I even said we're both morons. I don't think she liked that part.
Yeah, well, yes, there was always doubt. Like there's doubt all the way till like the last minute. I mean, I'd say, when you put your education, the kids' education in the hands of the school district or the private school, you're like, they have it figured out. They know what to do. This is the path. People follow this path. And if they go down this path, then they go from here. Then they go to college and they interview. Then they get out of college, they go interview for a job with somebody, they get a career and they move on. And when you homeschool, you got like, how much of that am I am I abandoning that? Am I doing am I doing the right thing? Am I equipped? Do I have the temperament? Do I have the knowledge, the experience? Do we have the tools, the resources? Anybody who homeschools their kids for even 1 year would question all those things, much less, the majority of their education.
And for your parents, wasn't like the at least for me, my parents, the push was always stay in school, go to college. That was like the crown jewel. Well,
I'm the first college graduate, like on my side of the family. And that was the message from my dad. My dad was like, you know what? I don't want you using your hands the way I have to make a living. And my dad was an auto mechanic while he was alive. And he's like, I don't want you to have to do this. I want, use your brain, go get an education. This is something we didn't have. Go get an education. They didn't really know what that meant though. Like, it wasn't like, hey, go do this and follow this career path and you go work for this company. They're like, no, go get an education and get a job that you don't have to work, this hard labor that I have to. And so that I took to heart. I'm like, okay, first of all, my dad was telling me, and then the other was, I'm kind of growing up around people who are struggling to make ends meet. I'm growing around family who is, who are chronically sick and ill and alcoholics and things like that. And those are all things I'm like, okay, I'm going to get away from that. Like, my dad's telling me, go do this. So I took the path of going and getting my college degree, getting a job with a corporation. I've been there 23 years at the same company.
Ken Walters, this is our in-house detective. Javier has one heck of a LinkedIn profile. Just as awesome in his day job as it sounds he is at his CrossFit training.
Oh, hey, thank you.
A research assistant.
Says the 82-year-old guy with his shirt off that still looks like he's hard as a rock.
He looks jacked. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And he's nowhere near 82. That's me just fucking with him.
I was thinking about it when you asked him if he was scared about doing homeschool. And I brought up that statistic real quick at the top of Google about how it grew exponentially, tripled in the last, 2020, 2021, 2022, and grew 2 to 8% each year. So it's growing.
Yeah, right. So when we started, there's plenty of people in Texas that are homeschooling, right? So it's not like this totally new concept, especially in Texas or even
tons of Christian fanatics doing it. Of course. Sure. Yes.
Absolutely, of course, fanatics. But we definitely, early on for us, it was, we tell people, people always ask, so where do your kids go to school? Where do your kids go to school? Like, oh, they homeschool. Like, oh, how do they get socialized?
How do they get their protein? Yeah.
Take a step back.
Yeah. Like, it is how do they get it is how do they get socialized? That's right away. That part cracks me up. Go on. Yes.
How do they get I'm like, well, all right. There's plenty of answers for that sort of thing. But how do they get socialized? What about sports? What about this? What about that? And I think they're all legitimate questions because they were the kind of things that I didn't understand either. But then after a while, you almost kind of get a little tired of answering them because you almost feel like it's not about like sincerity, like how do you do it? It's almost like like, wait a minute, are you kind of questioning my choice, my parenting? But
that is what 100% what they're doing because that's what we were doing, right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. It's less crazy though.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is I don't remember if Jeremy Kinnick shared this with me or some homeschooling person, but they were like, I read on their Instagram, look how you turned out. You don't think you could do a better job at educating your kids than the education you got? And then I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm an idiot that's not resourceful enough or capable of homeschooling my kids. And yet that's what I'm left with after going to public school. Got it. Like that at that point, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I can do a way better job in the aggregate, or at least take my kids to places where they'll have the opportunity to get a better opportunity. Right.
Yeah, and we even had over time, we kind of had a change of what we expected. I think at first we said, okay, we're homeschooling the kids for whatever the reasons were, right? Adult, whatever, time, educating, being close to them, staying close. The idea of, say, protection from a mindset or you almost think of like right now, I see so much in social media, people are like, take your kids out of school, like homeschool them because of all of the pressure that the schools are under to have, certain types of curriculum and messaging and things that, they're being exposed to in library time and such. And, but back then we were just like, okay, I think this is the right thing for us. And now as we've gone further into it, it still doesn't get any easier every year because you still have to motivate kids, right? Like, hey, do your work, do your stuff. My son's probably listening upstairs, right? Knowing he has some stuff he has to do by tomorrow morning. Right, Nick? Yeah.
Subtle hint.
Yeah. He's up there. Watch, you'll probably chime in in a second.
Hey, but the thing is, at least I don't know about the level your kids are at, but like, I don't even know what grade my kids are in. I'm going to say first grade and third grade, or kindergarten and second grade, something like that. My wife does it all,
Well,
but it's not regular. You don't, the part that was scary is I thought it had to be like regular school, and it's not regular school at all. Right. It's like, I'm not trying to, I thought homeschool was you just replicate what they do in the public school. It's not like that at all. Besides the reading and math, at least for us, it's nothing like that.
Across the board. It's across the board. So, I mean, we see some programs that like are college prep homeschool programs. And so it looks a lot like a regular school.
Oh, okay. I haven't got there yet.
But it's not. And then there's other people that, just, they don't do anything, but they keep their kids at home. Our kids are part of a community they made up once a week with other people that are also doing the homeschool, and they visit once with a tutor. The homeschool parents are still responsible for all aspects of the education, but they go to this community because it's helpful for the people who are doing this together. I'm saying it still isn't easy, right? It's still a challenge. And so when you have, so for example, when
you say it isn't easy for you, or isn't easy for the kids?
I think it's, well, we threaten the kids with like putting them in school like we used to. Like, we're going to put you in school. They're like, no, so.
Yeah. Whenever I drive by a school, I go, see those kids? They go, the one behind the fence. Yeah. I go, yeah, the kids behind the fence. You want to do that? They're like, nuh-uh. I'm like, all right, be good. I do that too. Yep.
Well, the reason why you're choosing homeschool is you want the best for your kid, and you think that that's it. Right. And so while you're in the midst,
and I don't trust these other motherfuckers to, excuse me. Sorry. I don't trust, Nicholas, sorry. I don't trust these other people, these other humans, to have the capacity to manage a classroom full of 30 kids, and possibly the blue hairs to teach them something weird.
Right. Or the Furbies to, have.
Yes. I have concerns. I mean, when I see the flags outside the school, I start to question what they're teaching there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, and right. And in choosing the best for them, I say, well, that's probably not the best for them. So let's
right
here, so then while you're going through the process, I mean, just like they aren't necessarily interested in doing homework in a public school or a private school, for, they're going to also, you still have to go through the same motivational challenges and get them on task and doing things. It's not like it's the magic answer, right? It's not like the magic pill that says, okay, cool, if I homeschool my kids, they'll love it the whole time and they'll do everything that they're asked. But I will say that they do work a lot more independently. Like, they do a great job. And especially if they're doing things, if there's a good definition and structure about what's expected of them, then you'll find that they take a lot more initiative at certain times of the day, like get things done. Like, there'll be times both my kids would get up first thing in the morning, knock out as much school as they could, right? Thinking they're getting away with something, so that later on in the day they would have free time. But the reality is they kind of just were setting good practice of getting up first thing in the morning and knocking things out that were really not something they want to do. Then they spend the rest of their day doing, something else. Not always.
And what's crazy is that's learning. That's the part that's trippy, right? So my kids get up, they go get their backpacks that are hanging in the entryway. They bring them to the bar in the kitchen. They do their work there for an hour, put that away, eat breakfast. And then then the rest of the day is learning, but it's just like, it's just learning because they're not in front of a TV, and because they're, not in front of an iPad, and they're not in front of a screen, and they're not, I'm screwing off, at school. It's crazy. They don't have to worry. It's just a day full of learning, whatever, that may be, going to the beach, going to the museum, taking tennis classes, watching their dad, fight with other drivers in the traffic jam. It's just like, yeah. The whole thing is an education, right?
That must be you, because that wasn't me. Yeah.
Right. Not me either. Other homeschooling.
Well, parents. They created a lot of time in the productive part of the latter part of the day that they took on other tasks and other roles. So both of them paid for their first vehicles on their own through the jobs that they had, that they were able to create money and wages for themselves while other kids would have been at school, right? So they get their school done in the morning. They get up, do their job. My daughter was a nanny for a family, another homeschool family, and she helped watch the kids. And all the money that she earned bought her first car before.
How old was she when she started that, Javier?
She probably about the same time that she was doing the kids thing, maybe 13, 14.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So she'd go over to this family's house. They had like 5 kids, and so she'd help watch them. Also another very like CrossFit centric household too. Really, really cool family. And so she watched their kids, and she was around, and they had a couple more kids. So she was around for all that, their next kids being born. And so they paid her. She used that money, and she bought her first car. She was 16.
So basically 3 years of savings.
Yeah.
And then she was able to buy her car.
Yeah, well, she was also making some money from her job as the CrossFit Kids assistant, right? So she was getting wages from that too. But
was your gym open at that point?
No. This was the other gym, the gym we were at. Yeah, she that's where she was kind of like apprenticing, and she was like assisting another lady who was the CrossFit Kids coach. It was a big class, so she was assisting that CrossFit Kids class because it was, you know, it was a bigger class. So she was there, so she was learning all of the, you know, how to give kids the instruction on how to do squats and lifts and all that good stuff, which is, it was almost better to have to teach kids, because when you make it so simple, then you have to go teach an adult. Like the more complicated you make it, the harder it is. So it's a good skill.
How old's your daughter now?
Well, now she's 20.
Does she ever talk about wanting kids?
Oh yeah, she wants kids, and she wants to stay home. That is one of the primary reasons why, when we had a conversation about the career path that she would take, and having been in working for, you know, a corporation for 20 years, and I've been around plenty of professional people, and even this was the situation with my wife. My wife was also professional, you know, working in healthcare environment. She was the vice president of human resources before she stayed home with the kids. And we remember that moment where we had to make a decision. Do I want my wife's income to continue for the household? And she was making good money. She was like a VP of HR, right? Or,
what a disgusting job though, but go on.
Well, she said she couldn't do it anymore, like especially in the hospitals. But
I would love to talk to your wife about HR. HR is a disgusting, disgusting place to work. Anyone who works in HR, you're a miserable fucking creature. Sorry, I digress.
Whoa.
I agree.
Wow.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. You're a fucking hub of tattletales and abuse, and it's gross. I'm pissed at HR. I hate HR. Sorry,
no, we just peeled off the scab there, man. Wow,
yeah, sorry. Okay.
No,
sorry.
that's okay. I mean,
nothing against your wife. Nothing against your wife. I'm glad she got out.
No, well, she started as a recruiter, and then but she was making good money before we had the kids. When we had the kids, it's like she didn't.
I like that. I like a woman who makes a lot of money. Good.
Yeah. Well, she was, and then she stopped because she decided to stay home with the kids, right? So that was a major decision that we had to make, and it's a decision I've had to see a lot of other people make, or we've seen a lot of other people, and I know that the idea of staying home with your kids, and never mind homeschool, but like, you know, being a stay-at-home mom or homeschooling. We had that conversation about like which path after this homeschool curriculum for my daughter, what she was going to do. And she knows she wants to have children. She loves kids. That's why she loves doing the CrossFit Kids class. That's what she loves. And that's why she nannied for a family that had so many kids. So she loves them. I know that she wants to have kids. And I said, well, you can choose this path of going to school and getting a degree and going and getting a corporate job. And then the idea that you make enough money that you'll be able to help support your family. But then when you have a kid, you're going to have to decide, are you going to go back? Or are you going to stay home? And the decision that we made, and we talked about it on the last call, was that she had developed all of this knowledge from, one, being that CrossFit Kids assistant coach, the other, because we had adopted this lifestyle dating back to when we started CrossFit about, you know, health, wellness, nutrition, you know, fitness, you know, eliminating all of this trash. She'd done that senior paper I told you about, where, you know, she was really talking about all the corruptness that led to the way that, you know, the sugar industry had kind of fooled us all.
Oh, someone asked me for a copy of that paper, by the way.
Oh, we got to go find it. Yeah.
And I thought they were crazy. They're like, hey, can you ask Javier for a copy of that paper? I want to see it. And I'm like, I'm not asking him that, but here I am asking.
You just did.
All right. Here I am.
Yeah, all right. Right. Yeah. So the decision was, okay, you can go do something. Like, we just had this talk even earlier today. We were having this conversation with her, and you know, we were kind of restating and reiterating our point, was that if she already has this capability to bring value to people through her own skill set, through her own knowledge, through her own capabilities, and being able to coach them through health and wellness. And she also has her PNL1, right? Her PN, what's that called? Precision nutrition, right? So she got that too, right? So she got that also when she was 17. So I said, okay, so you've got the ability to market yourself and to sell services that people will find valuable. So, and you don't have to do that in a corporation. So you can do that independent. She doesn't even need a CrossFit gym, right? She could just be a trainer. But we decided that the idea of opening the gym, first of all, it had been a dream for us. It was something because we love CrossFit. But we also knew that what would be just as important as her having those skills, there you go, the PN, was.
Is this in the CrossFit family, these people?
You know, at one point it was like a parallel thing. That's how we found out about it.
Yeah, I
Who's
think
the
it
owner of the company?
was.
Do you know?
God, great question. I don't know. I've seen a lot of CrossFit athletes that have got the PN.
Dr. John Berardi and Phil Caravaggio joined together on 2 Inspiring. Okay, all right. I'll check it out later. Okay.
It's a lot nutrition, but it's also a lot coaching. So
okay.
It's a lot coaching.
Meaning how to help people eat better without like the same way you would help people like squat better. It's like CrossFit.
Right, yeah. Okay. Right. I mean, you have all this great knowledge. You still have to get people to be able to understand and comprehend it. And you have to understand personalities and psyche and all of that kind of stuff, right? Because you can't just.
Who's a better coach, your daughter or your son? No one's listening. Just between me and you.
She's great with the kids. He's more technical. He's kind of like me, right? So he's more technical. She's good with the kids.
Sorry, Nicholas. She's better. Hey,
but he also got his L1 when he turned 17 also.
I bet you, I wonder what you think about this. I want to ask you this, then we'll go back to your story and then we'll come back to what I'm asking you. But I wonder these social skills your kids are building are going to be a rare commodity, I think, in 2 years.
Because like now,
and even in 30 years. And man, like you and I grew up in an era where like your personality gets you to the 51-yard line for sure. And they told us it was going to be college, but it's really who you know and your personality. I wonder if it's going to become even more valuable or if it's going to become unnecessary. But just imagine, I can't think of better training to deal with people than what your 2 kids have gone through. But anyway, go back to what were we talking about before? Let's go back to that. I don't want to throw you off.
You were trying to make me pick between my daughter and my son when it comes.
Oh yeah, but right before that, even before that.
The idea that it wasn't just about like say having that knowledge and being able to work it, but I think you mentioned, I'm not sure the guy you were talking about before, but of owning and operating a business, right? Being able to start one. It's not like I had a successful gym that was 10 years old and they were growing up into it and they were just going to adopt it. Like we're literally starting it together. So it's not like we're immediately profitable, that we immediately have all of the answers and we have all the process ironed out. That's why I decided to use Two Brain, because I said, well, I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to starting a CrossFit gym. So is there something that will help me in making the right decisions and giving me feedback about like, am I doing the right thing? Am I marketing the right way? Am I setting up the right system, setting up the right pricing? And so I decided, you know what, if I'm going to invest in the gym, I need to also invest in its success. And I decided to sign up for the Two Brain program. And I use that as well to say like, there's so much content that they make available to their members, and like any single template of anything you could imagine. It's kind of like having a franchise without them making you do anything, right? Like you can pick anything you want out of their library and like use it. It's yours, right?
How old is Nicholas?
He's 17. He's not yet 18.
Are they both still in the house?
Yeah, they are right now. Yeah. Yes.
Would you ever kick your kids out, or would you let them live there forever?
Well, no, they need to get out at some point.
They do?
I don't know about kicking out, but yeah, no, I mean, I encourage them to get to make, I mean, the whole goal is freedom, right? I want them to be free.
Right.
That's it. And so, you're not going to be free in here because I'm going to tell them when to go to sleep and, so they're going to.
Oh, right. Yeah. What about leave and come back? Can they do that?
Under the right circumstances.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Like if they leave and get addicted to drugs and then they go through rehab and they're better and they need to get back on their feet, they could come home.
Well, that's pretty extreme, but okay.
I'm just saying, you weren't going to offer something up, so I had to come up with.
There you go. I'm just. All right.
Hey,
the prodigal son, man. Yeah, of course, I would accept them, man. They're my kids. I love them. But it's tough love, right? It's been that way the whole time.
Yeah, I'm trying to also justify my existence. I was like I was in and out of the house for a long time, and my mom always welcomed me back. But then I would get booted out again. But then I would come back.
Well, my mom is listening, so I think my mom's listening. She signed up for this.
Did she kick you out?
No. I mean, I left when I was 18 to go to school. I moved to another city. I came back for one summer, then I never moved back in. I was,
Oh, that's wow.
Don't people do that? I don't know. That's what I did.
I don't want my kids ever to leave.
I knew that.
I don't care.
That's where you're going with it.
Well, I mean, I think.
What if they move out of the state? We'll get back to Two Brain and how you bought the gym, but let's go here for a second. What if they move out of state?
I'd be sad. Yeah. I'd be really sad. I wouldn't want to see that, but I mean, obviously we can't help them. I think that was one of the other things too. I think one of the other things is like when you go through college and you come out and it's like kind of like a lottery pick. Like I interviewed with a couple companies when I graduated, and I had the option to move to 2 cities that I wouldn't have picked for myself. Right. You know, I mean, I probably could have kept looking, but I had 2 nice offers out of college, and one of them was to move to Pennsylvania, and the other one was to move to Dallas. And I was living in Austin at the time, and I'd never lived in Dallas. And I said, well, I'm going to pick Texas. So we just stayed in Texas. And
where's your mom live now?
She's in San Antonio. I grew up there.
How far is that from you?
4.5 hours. Depends on, 4 hours.
I looked at homes there. Every once in a while I go to Truly and look at homes there. Man, I don't know about now, but a couple of years ago, you could get some crazy stuff there for cheap. Like for $500,000, you could buy a mansion.
Yeah, sure. In San Antonio, yeah. I mean, I think, Texas, generally speaking, compared to California, you know, for sure.
So when your daughter graduated first from high school?
She did during the lockdowns. Yeah, during the lockdowns.
And that's when you guys started talking. And so that's when you were doing classes out of your garage, 2 kinds of classes. There was we
had the moms and the 7. We had the homeschool football boys at 9.
And then so there was boot camp moms, football boys, and then Javier playing CrossFit.
Yeah, I was at another gym though. Yeah.
And you were okay. You weren't doing CrossFit. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you 20%. Remember this number, 20%, and I'm going to come back to that. Okay. Then the lockdowns happened, and my daughter, who had been helping out with the kids' classes at the other gym, when they resumed classes and everybody went back to the gym, they didn't automatically resume the kids' classes. And so some of the kids wanted to still work out. So then some of the kids started coming to our garage. So then we had the moms, the football boys, and then the kids. And so we're already kind of operating there. And I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and, let's pull the trigger. Actually, we already knew we were going to do it. We were waiting for a building to become available. And it was like a quintessential CrossFit building, big metal building with the flyway roof in the tornado scenario kind of thing. It's a raggedy looking thing. And we're like, well, this would be perfect to throw CrossFit in here. And then that's the one that didn't work out, that we were going to call On the Border. Right. So that one didn't work out. We moved somewhere else, but that took like a year of negotiating with the owner to try to get in there. And ultimately the city did not let him move in without doing $1 million improvement on the premise. And he said, forget it. And then he left. And that almost sunk it for us. We're like, holy crap. That was the place we were going to go. We were ready to sign the lease and start construction, and then it was gone.
Do you let your kids do the negotiating?
No.
You did it.
Well, I mean, again, I don't claim to be an expert in it. We have a really good friend who's in real estate development, and he really helped us out with that. Yeah,
but were your kids interfacing at that point though? Were you like, hey, who runs the gym now? Is it you or your kids?
My wife.
Your wife. I always forget about the wife. It's funny. People always give me credit for raising these great kids. And I'm always thinking to myself, it's really my wife. Everyone always forgets the wife.
Seriously, the general manager, right? So yeah, she never thought that she would do, well, she knew once she started doing CrossFit, right? She was into it. She liked it and she was fine. She wasn't trying to set PRs or do any comps or anything like that, but she understood that this was the most efficient way for her to stay healthy and fit. So she was doing that. But once we decided to open the gym and we got to a place where we were looking at the time we were opening the gym, the only 2 people with certificates in the house were my daughter and myself. We were both L1s, and I decided, you know what, before we open up, I want to take the L2. So we both took the L2 right before we opened, because I felt like I really needed that extra bit of the coaching principles that you get out of L2. And we loved it, by the way. We took that one together.
Yeah, that one's awesome for practical coaching. You come back with so many tools and such a good knowledge base, and classroom management too. As your guys' class started to get bigger, that was probably a huge benefit by going to the L2.
No, it was great. In fact, one of the, I don't know if I can give it away right in the L2, but one of the workouts we did was a strength only for the whole hour. And I had never experienced that. Every CrossFit gym I'd ever worked out in, strength was jammed into a little 15-minute section before you did your Metcon. And we made a whole hour's worth out of a 5x5 front squat. And it was blew my mind, because it was I had completely abandoned the idea that you would make a strength workout a whole workout in CrossFit. I'm like, well, no, aren't you supposed to kill yourself every day? And what I love about that is that, kind of circling back to, we talked about the CAP training, the CAP plan program, that they build that into that training now, right? So that's in there. So even in our box, like we'll have days where all we do is 5x5 front squat or 5x5 back squat or 5x5 deadlift. And you're like, the whole hour is just that. You're like, yeah.
And the members are good with it. Like nobody hangs around and like lingers next to an assault bike. And when you're not looking, they get on it and like get sweaty real fast. That's what I always run into. I always run into that issue. Like whenever if I do like a heavy day, you get everybody squatting. Half the members are like, "Oh, that's it. We're gonna go do some sit-ups and some rowing in the back corner." And you're like, "Oh."
Well, I think that's a class management thing too, right? And that's the thing that we learned in that if you there's a way to manage the class so that you can do that, so where people are really into it, and also you get the whole class engaged. Like we did this whole rotation thing where instead of everybody going at once, we literally did one person at a time, and you had like a 3-minute window, right? It's like person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that way the coach sees every single person do the lift instead of everybody simultaneously squatting and you don't see anybody.
Right. Dude, I love that. What about this? This is way off subject, but what about the fact that some people might be embarrassed to do it in front of the rest of the class? Like I got a 100-pound back squat and there's a girl 12 years older than me that's got a 200-pound.
You go at the door, right? Like, yeah, I think, we don't always use that method. We do sometimes, like for the most part, sometimes we'll do half the rig. Like we'll do people on one side of the rig because we have like the 2-sided rig. Like this half goes and then this half goes. So, people can still hide a little bit. We got our eyes on the folks that we know are struggling, but
like Olivia Kerstetter's in your gym.
Yeah, we don't have any of those. Yeah.
And she's just back squatting. Okay. I want to bring up 20% and you told me to remind you about 20%, but I'm going to wait 1 second before I bring that up. I always have this question. When you are running that gym at your house with all those people coming in and out, do you know what I'm going to ask, Souza?
I think so.
Where do people drop their deuces? Do they have to come in the house and use your bathroom?
We had a bathroom, but it wasn't like a ton of strangers. These were all like.
I'm not worried about strangers. I'm worried about the
traffic,
the football boys. Yeah.
I'm just worried about your toilet, just your piping and all that. How many bathrooms did that house have?
It has enough. It has like 4. I don't know. We have quite a bit. We have a guest bath that like nobody uses that's close to the garage, and that's the one they would use.
Okay.
But most of them manage the whole. It's just an hour class, right?
Listen, you have a gym. I think there's people there who just come there and that's like what they use your gym for. They deuce and then they work out.
Especially the morning guys, like right before when we're about getting ready to start the workout, somebody comes flying out of the bathroom right when we're about to start the clock. It's mostly the women on double under day. They're like, I gotta go because
they want to empty the bladder.
They're gonna empty it anyway on the double unders. Like these are all moms, right? There's no young. There weren't any young ladies.
Well, you don't understand, Javier. There's pelvic floor exercises that they can do to support themselves, but you need a certificate, and please come and get the.
That's a Kelly Starrett thing.
I've heard it all.
Okay, so you guys opened the gym and from the beginning, is that supposed to be? That was going to be a continuation of the homeschooling, also.
Yeah, that's right. So the
college education. Yeah, the 20%. Were you going to say something about 20%?
Well, so we'll finish that thought about the continuation. The continuation is not the idea that they're going to run and operate CrossFit gyms their whole life. Maybe it is. Maybe Nick will go create one on the other side of town.
Maybe he'll be CEO of CrossFit Inc.
Oh, well, there you go.
Always hiring.
Add that to my LinkedIn profile.
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
What would you add to it? A father of CEO of CrossFit Inc.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. You never know. He's pretty ambitious. Yep. Well, I didn't say he started his own company when he was like 15, 14. He's probably going to correct me. So with that free time, like one day him and his buddy like went to like a hobby store and picked up some little screen print thing, and they came home and made a screen print, and they're like, here you go. Like they made a gift for me, and they're like, here you go. It's cool. Okay. They got it for free. And then next thing I know, like within a couple of weeks, he's got a contract with the school doing shirts for like a school, and then he ends up like a couple of months later having a contract with the school for the whole year of like printing all their uniforms.
Wow.
Nice.
So he was printing like a little private homeschool thing. He made, he I don't know how many $1,000 of revenue, 20,000, 30,000 he did revenue, like maybe that first year.
Did he ever own a triple beam? Did he ever own a triple beam?
What is that? What's a triple beam?
Do you know what a triple beam is?
No, I don't.
It was the cornerstone of my business as a young man. A triple beam. You can pull up a picture of it, or do you want me? None of your kids ever owned a triple beam?
What is? I have no idea what that
is. Show them what a triple beam is. Nicholas, do you know what a triple beam is? You're lucky your dad doesn't know what a triple beam is. Like at Mooney knows.
Is he
Yeah.
answering?
Old school as a mofo.
Everybody's first purchase.
Yeah, this is a triple beam.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, he doesn't have one of
Yeah.
those.
My mom was so square, I probably got her to buy me my first triple beam.
It's for science class.
Yeah.
Right.
But what about the small baggies? Oh,
It's for his physics lab. Yeah. No.
Oh my goodness.
No.
we're categorizing species.
I have a novelty bag of weed around here somewhere.
Novelty.
I move my I don't do drugs. I drink a little alcohol. I don't even take Tylenol.
It's
a
safe.
prop.
I'm a good boy now. It's been many 30 years. Sevan, don't be a bad influence. I'm not. I'm just wondering, like, his kid's making shirts, and let me tell you, entrepreneurs want to get into the drug business as kids because you just see that there's a great turnover and it's
Low
easy.
barrier to
And you
entry.
know a lot
Low
of
barrier to
customers. Right. You're like, especially if you don't do drugs, you're like, fuck, I'll be amazing at selling this stuff.
His mom would be like sniffing that out from like a block, like a mile away. Like, what the hell's going on? Yeah. So
Yeah.
She'd put it into that real fast. Yeah. So he did that. Yeah. So that's what so my daughter was doing the CrossFit stuff and learning and doing the kid stuff. He started making these shirts and doing this other stuff. And then in the process of that, he was learning how to market for himself. And so he learned how to create his own Shopify store, how to create his own website, and how to market all of his own stuff. He does all of his own video editing, his photo shoots, and he does all of that. He's got his own like apparel brand that he markets and sells and stuff. So
What's it called?
It's on his Instagram. I think it's made for glory, right, Nick?
Yeah, he sounds like he's a go-getter.
Made for glory.
It's funny how all the weird stuff you learn when you're not in school, huh?
That's right, man. You're like, oh man, this kid doesn't know. You're like, what are they going to do? I'm like, I have no.
Yeah, I learned how to be.
I'm not concerned about that. There you go. His made for glory right there, the one above.
That's it.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, I like it. Oh, look there's the opium poppies. There they are. Okay.
There you go. See?
Right, there they are. Awesome. Good for him. Ask him if he wants to sponsor a podcast.
Dude, he would. Absolutely.
Made for glory. We already have a clothing company.
He's got 11 posts, so he's got a few up on you there.
Dude, he did the whole thing with the archiving his stuff right there. There you go. Him and his sister.
That's awesome.
That's him and his sister right there?
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Both your kids?
Yeah. That's them.
God, you're lucky.
I like that quarter zip. That's the same one you're wearing, huh?
Yeah. He made this.
Those are nice.
Of course, if you're going to open a CrossFit gym, it doesn't necessarily mean your kids are going to work there their whole life. But what a training ground, right? Because everything needs to be done there, from clean the bathrooms to manage the accounts to pay the taxes to, the whole thing. Does your wife slowly push things off on them as they want to do stuff?
Well, yeah, that's the idea. So like, obviously I made an investment in the gym, right? So I can't like start it up and go, here you go, kids. Please don't mess this up. Right. So we're definitely, with the years of experience we have in corporate America and just, being more mature and older, obviously we're using the mentor program. We're trying to set all of the things up so that it can be a successful gym, and that they learn that and basically apprenticing in that process, and then taking on a lot of the roles as they get more time under their belt, and like at first, I was doing all of my wife and I were doing all the coaching. Isabel was still doing the teens. Now it's the point that I maybe coach one class a week. Maybe like tomorrow I have a 6 o'clock and that's it.
When you bought this, you're going to regret being on 2 shows. I'm sorry. We're getting too friendly. When you bought your house, who does the adult stuff? You or your wife? Like who signs all those paperworks and sit in those meetings with like the mortgage people and all that?
Yeah. Well, both of us, but she's like the keeper. Here's the thing.
That sucks. I just run away. I'm like, can we get that house? My wife's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go outside.
Okay. So
I'm going to walk to Starbucks. I'll be back in 3 hours.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? I married probably like the most excellent manager in the world, right? So I'm proud of what I've been able to offer the kids, but I'm even more grateful for like what the kind of excellence that my wife has and the pride that she has in her work and the things that she does. And pretty much anything that she touches, she improves, right? And she makes it better. And so that's great. So she manages.
Yeah, she told you were fat.
She did. She fixed me, right? Tune in for part 1. Yeah.
Hey, that shows how much she hated her HR job. Your wife had fired people for saying less. I'm telling you.
She's fired plenty of people.
Right. For saying less than that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She's super compassionate, but if she had to like be cold hearted and cut you off, she could do it easy.
Yeah.
Gone. See you later.
And the gym's a year old now.
It's a year. Yes.
And it has 120 some odd members.
120. Yep.
And at what point do you decide to use Two Brain?
Before I even opened.
Can you tell me how they popped up on your radar?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Isabel and I took the L1 together. And one of the instructors was the owner of CrossFit Strong here in Dallas.
Okay.
Gail Yoakum. I don't know if you guys know Gail. He's buds with Chase Singer. They do.
I like that name. I know that Yoakum.
And he was our instructor. He was one of the instructors, and I left there from the L1. Then the whole COVID thing happened, and then one of our real close family friends, her husband, who I know pretty well, he was like in a fraternity with Gail, and he's like, "Oh man, I know that guy." I'm like, "Oh, crazy, cool." He was actually in his wedding together. It was kind of small world. And when we were thinking about opening the gym, I'm like, well, gosh, who do I call? Like, I mean, I've been working out in the same gym. It's not like I knew every CrossFit owner in town. I'm like, who do I call? So I called Gail and I asked him, I'm like, is there like a way to find a mentor for CrossFit? And then
how did you end up with Gail's phone number? He was your L1 instructor?
He was my L1 instructor, but he was also the best man at my friend's wedding.
Okay.
They hadn't seen each other in a while, but they knew each other that way.
Okay. Yeah. So you got his number from him?
I think I got his email. I don't know. I might have just looked him up on, actually I DM'd him on Instagram. That's what it was.
I wanted to drive home the point there of how accessible these L1 trainers are. This CrossFit L1 thing, I know I jerk it off all the time. You can go to an L1 and befriend one of these trainers for the rest of your life. Like, these are cool, really, really cool people.
He's a cool dude, and his place is nuts. He's got like a whole like gym. He's got like the ninja thing with the kids. Like, his program has a lot to do with his kids too. So he's got like a huge gym, and I think he's got like a facility that has all of the ninja, warrior, not the ninja warrior track. Is that what that is? Yeah. So he's got that. He does big comps there. Him and Chase always seem to be like pretty tight. Like they do a big comp there.
Look at his kid. That's his kid. His kid wrestles like that. That wrestling shit's hardcore.
Yeah, that's cool.
I want to follow him on Instagram right now. And basically, I just wanted to drive home the point. What's his Instagram again? GALEYOCOM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got to go to CrossFit Strong. That's where that's his gym.
He's a God-fearing man, proud husband and father. God-fearing. Oh, I mean, he's scared of God. Okay. Proud husband and father, strong fitness. He has a digital currency company and is world foremost expert on marble slab mixings.
I have no idea what that means.
Me neither, but it's.
I haven't talked to him since before I started the gym. But I mean,
okay, don't. I'm not bad mouthing him. You don't got to distance yourself from him all of a sudden, because I'm not.
Well, I don't know.
We're good. We're chill.
Thing is, I don't know. Maybe that's a triple beam like reference.
No. That's just like shit you put in your bathroom walls and shit. Rich people. It's just rich people shit. All right, easy there. Don't get all squirrely on me, Javier. You're like, oh, my signal's breaking up. Where'd Javier go?
In fact, I don't know at all. Actually,
pull the plug.
Okay, so you were able to befriend. You went to an L1 and able to befriend a guy and use him as a resource. That was just my point. Okay,
he connected me to Two Brain. I called those guys, and I got connected with them. Checked out the program. Signed up for a mentor before we opened, and so got guidance and input and stuff on how to set up your pricing, your playbook, how to market, how to do a kind of a grand opening type thing, so you can get as many people before you open the doors. So it has all of that stuff to really help you get going. And I just didn't want my inexperience with running and operating a gym to be the reason why we weren't successful. So I said, okay, I'm not going to leave it up to me. I'm going to get the input of what Two Brain says is like, the knowledge of hundreds, if not thousands of gyms success. I'm going to take that and use it.
And so let me repaste this here. I know I wasn't 100% my best listening skills just now. You contacted to Yoakum, and he told you about Two Brain. You read the free book, and after reading the free book, then you're like, oh, this is good stuff. And then you reached out to him, and you weren't scared of the money they asked for, because I know it's not cheap.
Oh no, heck yeah, I was afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. I was afraid. I mean, it was more money than for sure. I mean, it was a lot more money that I was going to be comfortable paying. But then I thought, well, the cost of me not being successful because I didn't get the help would be even worse, right? Like that would be worse. So to me, I felt like it was an over. Plus, I also think of it as like tuition for the curriculum that they offer. That's not just for me. I mean, if you go, I'm sure all their mentoring programs are similar, right? So I can only speak about Two Brain, but if the amount of instruction that they have, there's like just hundreds, if not thousands of hours on videos on how to sell, how to close, how to operate, how to set up process, how to do financials to support. I mean, it's all there. Like there's no excuse for you not to be able to piece together a successful business from the material that they have.
And who do you can you say who your mentor is over there?
Yeah, Karen Hazelton today. It used to be Jeff Kuka. We switched when we went from our on-ramp to our growth mode.
On-ramp. And were you
ramp up, after ramp up, not on-ramp, ramp up. We ramp up to growth.
And that was like pre-opening the gym, was the
it was like, I'd say when we initially were kickstarting, we were trying to ramp everything up, right? So marketing materials, getting all of your process set up, getting your playbook, getting your price book, getting your, getting all of that stuff done, that initial setup. Yeah, I was working with Jeff Kuka.
Got it. Okay.
He's out of Arkansas. I think he's Little Rock. And then he has a CrossFit gym. And then we switched over to another mentor, Karen Hazelton. She does not have a CrossFit gym. I think they used to be CrossFit. Now they run like more of a personal training studio. But
hey, did you know that's how Susan and I cross paths? Is through Two Brain?
No, I didn't know that.
So I had Chris Cooper on. Who I love Chris Cooper, by the way.
Coming on this week.
I saw he was on later this week. Yeah.
Tell him. Have you met him?
No, I haven't met him. No.
Dude.
Tell him I just gave him a great commercial, right? So
yeah, you did.
Well, he needs my help, but whatever.
Clip it. Where's our guy?
Well, we'll get to the climax here of whether how helpful it was in a second. All we know is that you've used it. But so basically, I had him on the podcast. I did not want, it was the CrossFit podcast. I was like I give two shits on how to run an affiliate, but so I had him on, and he was really nice, and I really enjoyed just spending time with him in the same room. And what was interesting about it, it was one of our least popular in terms of numbers podcast I'd ever done over at the CrossFit Podcast, but it was the most engaging by tenfold, meaning we'd never had so many emails and requests and thank yous. And people were like, because we were speaking to our base, right? Affiliates and people who were really interested in CrossFit. So I had him on a second time. And then later on so then eventually my time at CrossFit ran out. I get fired, and Matt reaches out to me, and I'd seen Matt around the community before, and Matt reaches out to me and says, hey, I want to pay something forward to you. And I said, what's that? And he said, I know you haven't done a CrossFit podcast in a couple of years, but I listened to your Chris Cooper podcast, and it saved my gym. It put me on the scent, and I went the Chris Cooper route, and it saved my gym. And I went from a gym that wasn't making money to making money. And now I have extra money and extra resources. And I'd like to provide some of those resources to get you to start podcasting again. And basically I said no. And then he insisted. And then my wife's like, dude, are you kidding me? This is the world. You always talk about how the world's conspiring to make you successful. This is the world speaking to you through Matt Souza. And here we are 700 shows later or whatever. I've been saying 700 shows forever.
It's almost 800. This is like,
I made that up when I said 700. For all I know, it could have been 200.
Details, Matt. He doesn't do the details.
Yeah, we're at like 780. I think this is 788 or
Look at, I just got $4.99 from CrossFit OTL.
Oh, there you go.
That's sponsorship money.
Yeah.
He's trying to market, man. That dude, he's ruthless. He's ruthless. He used to charge his sister money to come into his room. Okay, he got in trouble. We didn't find out until later.
Wow, you want to talk to me? I know I'm your brother, but it'll be $1.
Yeah, no, literally, he charged her $1, and she paid it, and she's like, he just to come into the room. So,
a little counseling.
Just watch it. Yeah, watch it. Yeah, he's a shady businessman.
So you, when you sign up, that you enjoy, I mean, obviously you must really be enjoying it. Cause like I said, it's not cheap, but I haven't talked to one person who wasn't successful using the program. And when he described it, and also why pay for it? That dude gives away almost everything for free. Why pay for it?
The mentoring. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot more stuff available in their library. So
okay, yeah. When I said he gives away most of his stuff for free, maybe he only gives 2% away for free, but it's a ton. It's like, I mean, he was sending free books out to affiliates.
Yeah. The book. I mean, the books are great. So the books describe all of his process and mentality and approach and stuff like that. When you're an active member of the program, then literally, if you need like a copy of something, like copy of this document, right? Like there you go, boom. It's part of the library, and it's just like this massive library of things that you can just copy and use, whether it's marketing material, whether it's copy for an advertisement, whether it's like a year's worth of social media posts or blog posts. It's all there, so you can use it all. So
wow, so it's everything from like accounting stuff to superficial stuff, like, well, I guess accounting superficial too, but to a list of posts you might want to make or templates for Instagram.
You just copy and paste. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all there. It's great.
And you get to talk to the other people who are in the program, so you can see like if an affiliate's just crushing it using a certain, like, I don't know what you would call it, a module or a certain path using the two brain stuff, that everyone will tell you, hey, this guy's killing it over here using these posts, this accounting, this.
Yeah, they have a Facebook community also, so you can just like ask the question, hey, what are you doing here? And people, be like chiming in, like, here you go. You buy this kind of rubber flooring, use this kind of, do this, you're negotiating with the land, all that stuff, like whole community. There's like a infinite amount of resource as long as you go ask the question. It's there. Everybody's super helpful.
Two brain.
CrossFit's doing something similar though too.
They are?
I don't know why they just don't find a way to partner with.
Wait, what are they doing? That's funny. Greg would have never gotten into that space. Oh, I was just gonna. Okay, so let me see, what's the website? Two Brain. Let me see the URL.
TwoBrainBusiness.com.
TwoBrainBusiness.com.
Hey, so he's gonna bring us on the he's gonna come on the show, and you know what we're gonna do, Javier? We're going to actually lay out a spreadsheet. I started getting annoyed at people saying how expensive CrossFit gyms were. Like really fucking annoyed. And so I want to lay out what it would be like to have 200 members who you charge $200 a month, and to show that, hey, dude, that doesn't even give, like, in an expensive area like downtown Austin, that's not going to give a coach the ability to make $120,000 a year, which is probably the poverty line there for a 4-person family, and to take weekends off. Like what do you expect from these owners? Like what? Like you can't work every single class. You can't work more than 300 days a year. I want to like just break it down and be like, stop it. If you don't want to be in a community that's helping you stay fit and healthy and stay away from the world's most vexing problem, chronic disease, then don't do CrossFit. But if you want to be in that community, and here's another thing, I mean, I'm sure you know this, but every dollar that people give to you is basically a donation to the community. Not $1 that they don't give to you doesn't make the community better. So for every kid taking a class at your gym, a husband or a wife is being made there who's going to be better than the husband and wife who's not in that gym.
Sure.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what a CrossFit gym. During the I think I said this on this isn't going to be popular. These are not the thoughts of Javier Jaime. I wanted you to know this. These are not his. But I made a post like, you want to donate money to like Black Lives Matter.
We don't know yet. So I might have the same thoughts. We'll see. I'll try to keep a neutral.
If you want to donate money to like Black Lives Matter or the Ukraine or like cut the penis off a child protocol, just save your money and donate it to your local CrossFit gym. Walk up to a CrossFit gym and be like, hey, here's $50 and I want to buy a membership for the next person you come in here you think deserves it for 2 weeks. Like, I think that's a way better spend of money and people got upset at me for saying that, but I stood my ground. Like, fuck you. It's like, it's so good for the world for each person to go to support their CrossFit gym, even if you don't go there. Amen.
I do agree with that.
Amen.
It's great, right? You're making better husbands, better wives, better employees, better workers. It's a huge burden off of society, off the healthcare system to support a CrossFit gym.
I haven't seen anybody come through the doors, go through the program, and come out and go like, well, that was really not good for my life. I've never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
That's a
good point. Me neither.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is I do see these people on the internet saying that, but it's always like some young girl in her 20s or some young guy who's like, it was the pressure at the CrossFit gym that made me shoot the steroids into my butt or you know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You were going to get persuaded to do something stupid wherever you went.
Agreed.
Do you put it? We earlier today we talked about. I'm not going to go there. Okay. We talked about people having relationships in the gym, but you're too above board for that. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, they got the family culture vibe. They're gonna stay away from that. I don't see Javier out drinking downtown with the members get cutting loose anytime soon.
Yeah, that is one of the things that Souza said. He did say like, hey, you want to stop people from just randomly hooking up in the gym, or you want to keep that down to a minimum. Don't just have all these parties with all this drinking, all the time. And I thought that's kind of some sound advice.
Yeah, that's a good advice.
Well, I mean, especially a year in now, it's so much of it's social, right? So it's like people in the gym, and you'll experience this as time goes on. You're going to have groups of people that are friends with each other that kind of cycle in and out. But sometimes that friend group or that pull for you to come in, and Grace gets kind of upset sometimes because half the time she wants to do some of the social things. It's not always like drinking downtown, right? And since we don't ever really do too much of them, just because we're always working and doing a bunch of other stuff too, and we have that slight bit of separation, you stop getting invited to them after a while, and she's always bummed by that. But that separation over the long term is important, because as these friend groups cycle in and out, you're on the outside of it, so you never really get sucked into it.
Right.
That's the most important piece of that.
Yeah, those are some good lessons too already. Yeah, we're already starting to see like there's an aspect of these relationships that can be personal, and then some of them that absolutely need to be. And at all times we have to take a professional approach, right? So it's not like everybody's our best friend, but we care for everybody that comes through. We want them to get their their results, but for sure, I think there's a line there.
Yeah.
And alcohol blurs the line.
Yeah, definitely. Great point.
Yeah.
Hey, are there a lot of families at your gym that homeschool?
Yeah. I mean, it's not exclusive to that, but yeah, we have homeschool. I mean, that's the circle we run in, right? So it's not like I'm hanging out with people in this other environment. But I mean, as new people come into the gym, they have no idea that we're, that are life and revolved around, homeschooling our kids. And they're just there working out. It's CrossFit. We're showing them how to CrossFit. We're showing them how to be healthy, and they can be none the wiser about our whole homeschool program. It's because, you saw on our social media, it's not like we're blasting this across the world. Like, hey, we're a homeschool family, suck it. We didn't do your public school stuff. Like, we're just, that's just what we chose to do.
Right. Exactly. And what about using the facility to, do you teach any classes there that are exclusively for homeschooled kids? Like, there's this program around where I live where it's like one day a week and you just drop your kids off and it's 3 hours and the whole class is on the beach. It's like for homeschooled kids. It's like a oceanography class. Like, do you guys have something like that where you do something at your gym?
It's not an extended program. We just have a class. We continue this 9 o'clock class. When if you think about it, during Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock class means kids are in school, except for the homeschool kids. Right. So that 9 o'clock class is still a lot of homeschool athletes that come through that, homeschool kids that come through that program at 9. And
is it exclusively homeschooled kids?
Well, none of the other kids are available. So
right.
Yes. So
not on purpose, but they're in school.
Correct. Right. And so we made that available because a lot of these homeschool kids are still in homeschool athletic programs too. Like my son was in football. And some of our other athletes are in baseball, they're in volleyball, or they're in cross country or track. So the evenings are for their sport, and they still need to get some other training in. And so they're not working out at a school, right? So they don't have a school, so they don't have a weight room facility or any other place to train or any instruction. Their parents probably don't have the knowledge, experience, or resources to do it. So so they come to us, and at 9 o'clock we have that class. And it's, again, I say it's reserved for homeschool kids. Occasionally we have an adult drop in because we're actually using the same programming. So I'm not like creating like some fancy programs. Like, hey, you're homeschool kids. You're just doing the teen version of my workout of the day.
How many will you have a big class in there? Will you have 15 kids in there?
Yeah. Yes.
And I guess that becomes a place where those parents can kind of network. No shit, you're homeschooling too. Yeah, me too. Oh, what are you doing after? So they network there.
It's mostly drop off. I mean, but yeah, a lot of them know each other. So most of the referrals come from other friends. So like
right.
a homeschool friend says, hey, come and work out with me. And then they bring another kid. And then, so then it kind of grows from there. At
God, I just thought of a business for Nicholas. He could get a 17-person passenger van and pick those kids up and drop them off.
Dude, don't give him any ideas.
Dude.
He's already Googling right now, like what it costs.
Dude, the parents would love you for that. And then for added money, they can get like a baggie full of like sliced oranges and a piece of beef jerky. And
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that called when you do that? When
a little recovery bundle. He just brings a little recovery. It's got like
no. When you run a CrossFit gym, but you have all these other things you sell to people. What's that called?
Oh gosh.
Side hustle. I don't know. Side hustle.
Ancillary. I don't know. So, again.
Yeah. Some ancillary. Yeah. The kids who get the bundle sit up in the front. Kids who don't sit in the back of the bus.
Platinum package versus.
Yeah.
Your parents still love you. They bought the coach seat.
Yeah. It's 3 to a seat instead of 2 to a seat. Oh my goodness. Okay.
By the way, Isabel did authorize the sugar paper to be released. So yeah, we're gonna find it and we'll get it out.
Cool.
Whoever asked for it. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. That was quick. That was good. So what about other gyms? Does it seem like a missed opportunity to you for other gyms? So I was we had someone on who was in the state of California. We had a woman on who was an attorney, and she got masks outlawed in schools in the state of Utah, so that under no circumstance did you have to require kids to wear masks in the state of Utah. And I forget her name, but now she lives in Monterey County, and she's trying to get all sorts of stuff off the books that they make kids do here in the state of California, which is it's absolutely nuts. And during that podcast, I did some research, and basically schools are closing down all over California because they don't have enough kids anymore, because during this closure, this response to this flu, kids aren't going back to school. So I think what I saw was 1.8 million less kids go to public school, K through 12, in 2023 than they did in 2019. So it went from like 51 million to 49 million, roughly. That seems like, what about that as an opportunity for CrossFit gyms all over to start sort of offering that homeschool PE class at 9 or 10 a.m.?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I think it is a great opportunity. I mean, assuming that they're, that they want to staff the gym at that hour if they normally wouldn't. But yeah, so that was, the model for us in that was when the kids, before we ever did CrossFit, like actually right about the time I started CrossFit, the kids were doing Taekwondo, Isabel and Nick together, they were doing Taekwondo. And there was a homeschool mom that had a Taekwondo studio, and she was a homeschool mom. And so she offered a homeschool class that was also a similar, it might've been after lunch. It was like at 1, because the regular kids class was in the evening, right? Like 4 after everybody got out of school.
Right.
But the homeschool version was during the day when the only kind of kids that could attend were homeschooled. So we kind of picked that model up off of them. And we said, well, gosh, if we ever do something like that, we'll offer a homeschool version.
Hey, Nicholas, pipe down. You got a black belt from a homeschool mom. You pipe down back there.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that lady. She was scary.
Tell me you got your black belt. Easy there, buddy. Just how much does that 17-passenger van cost? You should have already bought it.
He
financed it.
Yeah, I told him, like, man, what do you remember anything from that? I don't know. He's just like, I remember a lot of poking and stuff, like, whatever.
But he still probably has his black belt. I guarantee he's hanging in his closet somewhere.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Hey, but that black belt probably doesn't even fit him anymore.
No, he was a kid. I mean, he was just before. Yeah. I mean, he was like 10. I don't know, something like that. Right? He was small.
Are you do you go to church on Sundays?
I do.
So in a Christian church?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's nothing weird about you. Just like you're not like, even I should be careful because my Scientology friends are over right now. They might be listening, but you're not a like a Scientologist or a Jehovah's Witness, or like you're just a normal dude.
Normal dude, non-denominational Christian church. Yes. You
could have been was a King of the Hill. Okay, I didn't.
I was like, I wonder if somebody would get that. Somebody got it.
So you could have been one of the pilgrims. You're just a dude. Were your parents religious people?
No. Well, I mean, so we grew up, my parents were, well, I was initially baptized Catholic. We attended church occasionally. I did my first communion. Probably didn't go back to church again until I was an adult, really married. And so, yeah, I did not.
Did your wife take you there? Did she make you go?
We started together. We started back up together. So yeah, but I mean, she helped me see the light.
Wow.
Thanks, babe. Yep.
Did she say that? Oh no, you're just saying thanks in general.
No, I'm just saying it. Yeah. Okay. Probably listening somewhere. Yeah.
90% of the people I've run into who homeschool are Christians. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, dude, when did you ever think it was crazy? Like, did you ever, my sister homeschooled her kids and she took the brunt of that shit from my parents. Yeah. Right? Like, what are you doing? And then by the time it came to me, like my sister had smoothed out all the
she took all the heat for you.
She took the heat, dude. She took the heat. Yeah. By the time I had home, they didn't even care. They're like, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. No one's ever said a thing to me.
No, from a family perspective, nobody really challenged that. That was not, I would say, really nobody was ever trouble about it. It's just, you get the questions or the looks. That's it. Not the looks, but people are like, why are you homeschooling? Are you afraid of this? Whatever. We're okay with that.
And also you're, like you said, you're in Texas and you're Christian. Okay. So like your group is kind of the larger groups that are doing it. They're probably Christians in Texas. My sister's a Christian in Texas. Well, shit. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Where's she live?
On a big ranch somewhere in the western Texas. Like
her
and her husband take care of this huge ranch where people come and shoot animals dead.
Oh, there you go.
You pay expensive money to shoot rare animals.
Protein.
Yes, that protein. I know. That's the libtard in me still talking. There's still a little bit. Can't take it out of me. I'm still in California. Those rich people come and shoot those rare animals. Hey, she sent me a picture the other day, Javier, and it was some rare animal. It's a 4-legged animal, like
dead,
and it was in her closet. And it was a baby. The mom had died, and the animal had worked its way into the ranch house, and it was hiding in her closet, like a little tiny. And and she sent me a video. I wish I should actually play the video. And it's one of her dogs, Healers, licking its ear, inside its ear, in the closet. And my sister's like, "Isn't that cute?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that dog just told her, we're gonna kill you later. Run. We're gonna kill you later. Run."
Right. You were describing the whole scene. It was sounding pretty creepy. Yeah.
I mean, hear this animal run into my sister.
I'm over here. I'm just picturing like something out of like the Halloween movie, or something.
Oh my goodness.
Here, this my sister sends me this cutest scene in the world of a healer licking the inside ear of this baby animal. And I'm just thinking, it was actually my wife's line. My wife said it to me, but she didn't have the balls to send it to my wife. So I sent it to her, and I took credit because I thought it was funny. What about, so how long will you stay with Two Brain?
So we're like at the year anniversary where you get to extend it like month by month.
Yeah.
And so we're staying with Nicole because we want to get to the stage where we're meeting our
Not Nicole. Are you testing me? You're with Caitlin.
I'm sorry, Karen. I don't know why I said Nicole. Yeah, Karen.
All right. I thought maybe you were testing me.
Yeah, no, you tested me. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So Karen.
All right. I wrote her name down somewhere.
She said it's funny. She sent me an email and she was like, "Hey, how'd your podcast go? And did Sevan hire Nicholas yet?" I'm like, no.
Yeah, Nicholas, we are hiring. Our wages are very competitive too. We're paying in fentanyl.
To Foxconn.
I don't know if your dad like that.
The hours are like Foxconn.
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. We're competitive with Foxconn. Yeah. We won't put up a net around your house in case you decide to jump from the roof. Do you know what Foxconn is, Javier?
Do I? It sounds like a conference of.
No, Foxconn is the world's largest company in the world. I think they have 1 million employees, and they have one facility that has 200,000 employees. They make iPhones.
They make all the phones and stuff.
Yeah, and they had to put the nets around the building because dudes were jumping off to kill them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Not funny.
Not funny, but factual. There.
I've been in one of the facilities before that they had here.
Here in China?
No, they had Foxconn had facilities in the U.S. I think.
Oh, good on them.
Yeah.
Hey, what about all this? What's going on? Why is everyone moving to India? Why is Apple and who did I hear someone else big is moving to India? Why? Do you know why Apple's moving to India?
Me? No.
Yeah. I
I mean,
keep hearing that we're going to actually.
I mean, in the industry that I'm in, I see a lot of things being outsourced to India. So maybe just to move closer to the labor.
I heard twice in the last week, one from someone, a very reliable source, and one from not a very reliable source, that we're ramping up for some sort of physical altercation with China in 2025. Have you heard anything like that?
Me? No.
Oh, okay.
Other than the priming of the spy balloon in which we were all.
I mean, I'm probably following all that same stuff there, right? But I'm not exactly, a political science, whatever.
You have any mil guys who go to your gym?
Any what?
Military guys?
Well, yes. There's some military guys. Yeah.
First responders?
A few. No.
No police, no fire, no ambulance drivers.
No, not yet. No. I got a lot of nurses.
Oh, okay.
The nurses love CrossFit.
Yeah, they do.
Awesome.
A lot of nurses.
It's a good group of people to have.
It took Javier's podcast to get us to 20,500 subscribers. Are you kidding me? We did that?
That's the third time we've done it.
Oh.
I've been following it. It's been toggling back and forth for like the last 24 or 36 hours.
Dude, Nicholas, imagine if you jumped on this podcast in 5 years, we were bigger than Rogan, and you could say it was you. You were the
tipping point. You were the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife's correcting me. I do have a firefighter in there. Yeah, I do have one. I mean, but again, we're still growing. We're getting a lot of.
It's probably a volunteer firehouse, and that's why you didn't acknowledge it.
I don't know. I'm just, I'm getting fact checked right now. It's what's happening. Okay. Like as I'm speaking, I'm getting fact checked. Like I'm getting texts like Javier.
I see your earpiece is in too. He's getting feed from the control.
Nicholas, you're not even 18. This is an 18 and older show. You should know that.
Yeah, one more month.
Okay, one more month.
We'll let him slide.
He's homeschooled. He's like
hire him a month early. So going back to the Two Brain thing. So you're gonna stay with Caitlin Hutchinson.
Karen Hazelton.
Karen Hazelton, and you're gonna stay with her, and because you're in the growth module.
Yeah, we're in the growth stage. So we're the next stage for me in terms of we've done all the process. We set up all the back of the house stuff. Any of the places we're using, like say automation for response to customers, setting up a website, social media, all that stuff, we're pretty comfortable with where that is. Now we really want to optimize all of the financial transactions, all of the management of our accounting, and make sure that is set up for success. And to me, like that's really one of the biggest takeaways that we get out of this. Because I mean, I can't if the business isn't profitable, then I can't keep helping people. So we need to get the business to be at the profit level that we need to. And you opened up kind of jokingly, like Javier's not the only owner. No, you're right. It's a family thing. So it's me, my wife, and Isabel and Nick. We're all owners.
Do you realize how invested some of the people are? Like that, like they just love that gym. Like that, it really is. I hate to be cheesy, but the best hour of their day.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's.
I guess you used to belong to a gym, so
Yeah, no, yeah, I do. I mean, I look forward to it every day. I mean, there was a part of it that was, I look forward to the workout. I look forward to being with, the community of, the guys that I would work out with every morning. I enjoyed, and somewhat of the competitive aspect of it, and the other, the cooperative, the lifting up, the encouragement of that too. That goes to the 20% number, 20%.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it back, 20%.
Oh yeah. Did you mention 20%, Javier? What was that you wanted me to bring up?
I totally remember that. And
thank you.
The 20%
checks out.
20%. That's the intensity level that a gym brings you versus working out at home. How do I know? Okay.
Oh,
so
I like
I'm working out in the gym.
God, that's so true. I'm such a schlep. I'm pathetic.
That's okay. We're here for you.
Thank you.
I was working out in the other gym for 8 straight years. Had reached a level of fitness capacity and strength capacity and whatever that was at the age of, I guess I would have been 3 years ago.
I'm hating this part of the show, by the way.
45.
I'm pouting.
Okay. Just ignore him.
Because I work out at home, and yours dropping way too much truth on me.
I'm about to tell you. You know who taught me Saving the Fat Man? What's the name of the show?
Killing the Fat Man. Gary Roberts.
Dude, so this is what I was so afraid of, right? So when we went home from, we stopped working out at the gym after COVID, and I came home, everybody else was working out in a class, okay? My wife is working out in a class. My son is working out in a class. Isabel and I are not. Isabel's coaching the kids class. She's not in the other classes. I'm not coaching. I'm not working out in any of those classes. So we're both working out independently. Now we're following the same program, right? So the program that we're using in my garage gym, I'm doing the same it's just as thorough and, you know, complete as the program I was using before. But during that time that I was working out at home, you know, a little cherry picking here and there, a little shaving reps here and there, a little, you know, maybe not today. But I was still getting 3 or 4 workouts, you know, a weekend, maybe 5. So it wasn't like the amount of workout I was doing was dropping, but definitely the intensity, right? I didn't have anybody I was chasing or somebody chasing me. I didn't have the motivation. And so when I got back into the gym when we opened up our gym and I started working out again there, almost all of my metrics, right? So everything from like my Fran time to my squat number to my deadlift number, they were all down 20%.
Wow.
Now,
I believe it.
After about 4 or 5 months of working out in the gym again, just doing the programming, not doing any extra work. I wasn't like getting extra strength in or spending extra time like trying to get my squat numbers up. They're all back to where they were pre-COVID. Now, my Fran time, not so much, but all my strength numbers for sure. But my Metcons are coming back up again. And I'm 3 years older, right? I'm a 48.
My wife teaches CrossFit in the garage a couple times a week, just to random women we've met, just, you know, moms we met at the skate park or just wherever our kids go, friends of our that we've met around the homeschooling community. And the other day I did a workout with my wife. The lady didn't show up. My wife still did the workout in the garage, and I did it with her. It's the first time I'd like gone in there. I don't know where the kids were. They must have been at my mom's house. So we worked out together. It was a 30-minute workout with 5 stations. And afterwards, she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. It's kind of a lame workout." I'm like, "Dude." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "That's the best workout I've had in fucking 3 years." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, and it was because we used to work out all the time together, or I would go to an affiliate or something like that. And it's been 3 years of me just working out at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. in the garage by myself. And you're so right.
Yeah.
I hardly ever go. I mean, I have to do I have to really trick myself or manipulate myself to go into the pain cave.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
I'd stop short. I'd, you know, maybe pull up, you know, a few less reps, or just like today, I don't feel like it. Or I cherry pick. I'm like, you know, like nobody's going to care. I'm not with the class. So like, I feel like squatting today instead of doing snatch or something. So
yeah, intensity's gone, intentionality's gone, and accountability is gone.
It's all gone. And so like I made a point for me that I work out with a class, like today as the owner, right? Like I attend a class. I attend it as like any other student. We even had this talk today as the staff. It's like, you're attending the class. You're just like any other student. Somebody else is coaching. You go through the warm up just like everybody else does. You go with this, you know, we do it all exactly as if we were a student. And it's because if it's the best for them, it's the best for you, right? So why would I do something different? Why would I be marketing to people that I'm going to come help you out here, yet I'm going to do a different program? Right now, I mean, you know, every now and then I have access to the gym anytime I want, right? So if I want to get an extra, you know, a couple sets of squats or something like that, sure, I'll do that. But I mean, these days I'm just doing the workout, and you know, I PR'd my snatch, my squat, my bench, all within the last couple months.
Wow, how long have you been doing CrossFit?
10 years.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, 48.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you on drug? Are you taking testosterone?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No, just absorbing.
Yeah, me neither.
Air, you know.
But if you do want to take it, you should go through California hormones. But I'm not taking it either. Okay. But if you do,
noted.
Hey, why a CrossFit gym? Why pay affiliate fees? Why not just be Nicholas and his sister CrossFit?
Why aren't we just on the line fitness?
What's your daughter's name again? You say
Isabel.
it again. Isabel and Nicholas CrossFit.
Fitness. I couldn't say CrossFit. They came after me, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. You could say CF. Isabel and Nicholas CF.
Two reasons. First reason, the certification is pretty much doesn't apply, right? So I'd have to go get a different kind of certification, of which I don't really believe in. A lot of the certifications.
What do you mean? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You could. I think at least when I worked there, you could teach CrossFit. You just couldn't call it CrossFit if you were certified.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm answering it differently than what you're saying.
I'm saying why? I guess maybe it's an ethical question.
So
yeah, like why affiliate? What the fuck do they offer you? You already are an amazing person, clearly, with insane values that provide an insane service to the highest level you can, and you have a great community. Why pay $3,000 a month to CrossFit Inc.?
Because I believe in the methodology.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to like poach the methodology and then not be part of that community. And the other, Google, man, CrossFit near me.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. We talked about that the first time. Yeah.
Google. I mean, I would say a good amount of our leads right now come either directly from the CrossFit headquarters, the CrossFit HQ website, or somebody says CrossFit near me, and I can't call myself CrossFit if I'm not, right? There's plenty of other little micro gyms around here that do some, different things. There's some ex-CrossFit gyms around here that are offering fitness programs. They used to do CrossFit, they don't do it anymore. But when people Google CrossFit, I'm close by. They come to us.
So do you find that people are going through CrossFit.com, the main website, finding you on the affiliate map, and then going to your gym?
Yeah, we get a mix of both, right? So we get some people on the affiliate map that look. Usually, people that are familiar with CrossFit know to go to CrossFit and look at the affiliate map. Like if they've done CrossFit before. So if I get like the experienced CrossFitter from another gym and they're like looking for a new CrossFit because they moved into the area, they look at the affiliate map. If it's somebody who just like heard of CrossFit, then they just pull us up on Google.
Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this idea? Sorry, did you have another question, Susan?
No, this is Tommy. He meant, I mean, Tommy Payne picture thing threw me, your icon picture threw me off there. It's a year, not a month.
A year. If it was 3,000 a month, no way, man. For sure.
What if they have, do you use like your affiliate rep, or like there's these people that they have, they just fired 16 of them, right? But they got a bunch more. They got like these people that represent that I guess your gym can locally, like there's one for California. What's his name?
It's the West Coast, Jordan Holland and Katie Hogan.
Jordan Holland. Yeah. Jordan Holland, Katie Hogan. So they're on the West Coast. And like, I guess, I don't know exactly. Maybe Susan can tell me, but if you're like affiliate, if you have a question, you call them, right?
South Central?
That's right.
Chase.
And it makes you feel like you have
he
someone.
has Chase.
Dude, that's how I found you. That's how you.
Okay.
Chase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Chase is going to hate this question.
Full circle.
There we go.
Is it useful to have? Yeah. Go ahead. Ask me.
I was going to bash him.
I don't know how much money they spend on those people, but why not, get rid of those people and allocate those sources to continued education for the affiliates that's free?
Well, that's a great question for the CEO of CrossFit. But what I can tell you is that when Chase specifically took over this role, he sent out an email and it says, "Hey, I'm just a Zoom call away. If you want to talk." I clicked on it, set up a Zoom call, had a call with him. Great call. Had a second call with him, and that's when he said, "Hey, man." And I was telling him this story, and he's like, "Oh, he needs to, hear from you." I mean, what else does he do in the community? I mean, I see a lot of his.
Oh, he's so active. That dude's so active.
Well, I mean, like specific to our reps. I mean, but the thing is, he made himself available. If I had questions, I know he would answer. And and he was, he's immediately available. So. And
I know.
And it's Chase Ingram, for crying out loud. I mean.
Say that again.
And it's Chase Ingram. I mean, it's not like I mean.
That's true, and that's true. It is, and I will say this: I don't know all the reps, but I will tell you that if you say something to him, you can almost guarantee it's going to work its way up the flagpole. Like that dude's not afraid.
I believe that.
He's you kind of fucked up my whole argument because you have Chase. Because I mean, he's a savage. So it's hard to, and I guess you're saying he is the one that directed. He probably heard me talking about homeschooling and probably said, "Hey, you got to reach out to this dude." Javier.
I said the word homeschool, and it was just like we were on a Zoom call, and then like his eyes lit up. He's like, "Oh, I need to connect you with Sevan." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like, he asked me, "Do you mind if I do?" I'm like, "Oh, of course, sure."
Yeah, and I appreciate you talking to me. You're one of those people that I feel like you're gonna have to take a shower after you're done talking to me, or like change your shoes or something, or at least wash your hands.
Shower.
You're such a good dude.
I've been in dirtier places, man.
Okay.
For a while,
Okay.
I would
love to
man in college.
Say that again.
I used to repo furniture in college. Like that's one of the worst places to put your hands in other people's furniture.
Do you fight? Do you know how to fight?
Me? No, I've never took that up. No.
But you repoed furniture?
I mean, I didn't fight people for it, but yeah.
But you had to walk into someone's house and be like, and take their couch?
Yeah, take their couch, take their refrigerator, take their stoves up. And this was my college job. This is my college job. One of my college jobs.
Wow.
That's awesome. Show up. Hi, who are you? I'm here for that.
You talk about like, like these skills that you learned. Before I could ever take something from somebody's house, I had to talk them into letting me into their house to take their stuff. So, I mean, it was like a real, it was training and negotiating with people. Because the reality is, I was a repo man. I was a collector. So I was a collector for over 90 days. So if you were behind in your payments, I was a collector. I'd call you up. If you didn't come, then I'd get in the car, go knock on your door. If you open the door, I have to talk you out of your stuff. And the only thing I had to threaten people with was that, hey, if you don't pay, you're going to have bad credit. They already have bad credit, but we'd still have to talk them out of, talk me into getting into their house, taking apart their kids, twin bed and bunk beds, and taking that apart and taking it back to the furniture store.
Can you imagine personally taking out a loan to buy a couch?
All over the place, man. Everywhere. I mean, people just...
No, but you personally, can you imagine your money is so tight that you would take out a loan to buy a couch?
Well, from this place, it was pretty sad. That's why we repoed a lot. Yeah.
I just like the fact that he was the collector.
Dude, imagine how clueless you are to think that's a good way to spend your money. I would have no furniture before I would ever do that.
Or just free shit. You find it all over the place.
Yeah, totally. Or just free shit. But my kids would sit on the floor way before I would take a loan out to buy a fucking couch.
There's nothing that would take.
So let me tell you a quick story, and this will maybe give you an indication of some of the places that you might be repoing from. Okay.
Susan, by the way, if you have to go, I know you have a class to teach at 6:30.
I do. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Javier, it's great to meet you, man.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
Take it easy. Bye, guys.
Bye, Matt. I'll bug you later. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I go knock on the door at a house, and I'm there to repo a stove. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to repo till I look at the file. So I'm going to repo a stove. Knock on the door. Lady opens the door. I tell her I'm there to collect the money or to take the item, whatever it is. And so she's got a pretty thick accent, and I couldn't quite understand her. And so I tell her, hey, I'm here to take the stove. She's like, after a couple minutes of trying to communicate with her, she's like, oh, that's fine. It's shot. You can take it. I said, it's shot. What do you mean it's like I'm thinking shot, it doesn't work. Like it's work, it's shot. She goes, no, shot, drive by. I'm like, what the hell? Drive by. So I get led into the house. I walk into the house, and there's literally a bullet hole in the front of this stove, right? There's a bullet hole through it. And somebody had drive by in the house, shot through the side door, shot into the house and into the stove. And so here I am in this house, unhooking this thing.
And you're standing in a spot where if you would have been standing there 3 hours earlier, you'd be dead.
It would have been, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I was young, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. So I started doing this thing, to turn the gas off, disconnect, and then some kid comes downstairs, looked like he just finished smoking weed. He takes like $100, a couple $100 out of his pocket, hands it to me. I'm like, see you later. I'm out of here. So I collected the money and I was gone. But that's
And so you rehooked the stove up with the bullet hole in it.
Yeah, well, I never really could. I don't even know if it was working. I mean, honestly, maybe the range was working, but the stove,
or maybe they were using it to heat their house. To be honest,
you couldn't. I wouldn't have put it past this house. Yeah,
the little hole in the oven made it so that you could cook cookies and heat the house at the same time.
Side benefit of having a drive-by. Yeah.
Hey, when you would do that, did you go by yourself?
Most times, yeah.
Dude.
I mean, I was in college. I was pretty naive. I'm like, you know what? I'm indestructible. Nobody can hurt me. I literally walk down the street, going from house to house, usually in a pretty sketchy neighborhood, right? And the only thing I had to protect myself was a big D battery mag light, just kind of carry that around in case a stray Rottweiler or something came chasing after me.
Hey, naiveness is the best. It's the best.
I wouldn't do anything like that now. Are you kidding?
Yeah. You know too much. Yep.
Yeah.
And you have kids. You can't get killed.
For sure. Yes. So
hey, it was great. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's right.
I'm gonna hang up on you. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
No, that's it.
All right. Hey, it's a great meeting you, dude.
I've had a blast. This was great. Thank you.
Yeah, you make me have faith in humanity that there's good dads out there like you, good business owners, good husbands. You're a good dude.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been following you for many years, so I can't even believe I had this opportunity to talk to you, especially after all of the different speakers you had on here. It's like amazing to think that I'm even on the same.
Oh, you're at the top. I'm telling you, I never did a It's my fasting day. The last thing I want to do is a podcast in the evening. Then I've never done a follow-up with an affiliate owner, but man, and you're the worst prepared I ever was. And the irony is I was like, shit, I think I need 3 hours with this guy. I told Sousa afterwards, there's more. So,
well, yeah, I'm glad I've had the opportunity. It's been great.
Yeah. Tell your wife and your kids that they're lucky to have you.
Oh, I tell them every day.
Okay, good. You have my phone number. If there's ever anything you want to do together, anything I could ever help you promote, don't hesitate to bug me. I'm just like your wife in the sense that I'm a good HR person. I'm good at saying no, but I also want to help everyone who's doing the right thing for the right reasons, for the right people, or even for the wrong people, as long as it's for the right reasons.
Well, okay. Hopefully we got both of those. Right reasons, right people.
Yes.
Thanks.
So great to meet you, and I hope we run into each other again. And Chase is now 1 for 1 for recommending affiliate owners.
Oh, very cool. Good. I'll let him know that too.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Nicholas, thanks, brother. You were good. You gave a lot of good fodder, fun stuff in the comments. Sevi, no using other people's money, 18 months, no interest, no payments. Fair enough. And you don't even look a day over 44, by the way. Half the age of, or 41, half the age of 82. Good man, Javier. Thanks for sharing your days. Yeah, I should have said that too. It was pretty cool that he came back on. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass doing podcasts. Sam Steen. I've been looking forward to CrossFit gyms in Dallas to drop in when I'm visiting in March. Definitely going to OTL now. Yeah, that seems like a good dude. Sam, dude, your body looks huge compared to your head in that picture. Maybe just one of those giant dudes. It's not bad either. Just the fact that I'm talking about you, you should feel good about yourself. Victor Brown, good shit, Sevi. Thank you, as always. Man, I got wound up. I saw that Hiller did a video with my name in it, and he went to Reddit. I enjoyed Javier too. He's cool. You're I don't know what to say about. I have nothing nice to say about your Instagram photo. What, Tommy? Who cut your hair like that in the front? Why is it not like? What's the? Okay, never mind. CrossFit coaches are better than doctors. Unsporty Beth. What about both though? About a CrossFitting doctor. Hey, you know who I saw today at the I went to a coffee shop today. I parked my car at the beach and then I walked for like 40 minutes to this coffee shop with my kids. It was pouring rain when I started walking. And by the time I got to the coffee shop down at the other end of the walk, the sun was out. There's a dude who looked all buff and shit. Sitting at the entrance door of the coffee shop, and I'm outside drinking a cup of black coffee, watching my kids go crazy, ruining the peaceful area for all the other patrons. And this dude says, "Hey, what's up?" And I go, "Hey." And he goes, "You don't recognize me, do you?" And then right at that moment, I did recognize him. And this dude had gotten so fucking big and buff. And it was Julie Foucher's ex-husband, Danny, I forget his last name. He's a doctor. And I had talked to him, like I had gone out to dinner with him and some other people one time before, and I'd sat across from him for an hour and talked to him. And he was really, at that time, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, and he was very nice, but he was very young. I don't want to say naive. I mean, he was a fucking doctor, but he was very young. And I had the fucking greatest conversation with him for an hour today in front of a coffee shop in Santa Cruz. It was so cool. I wish I could remember his last name. Dan, I have his phone number. I texted him, told him it was great seeing him. That's like a big, huge ordeal for me to text someone. I don't want to create more text in my phone. I want to see if I have his name spelled right in here. Where is it? I have his name spelled Danny, D-A-N-I. I don't even know if that's right. I'm kind of a weirdo like that. Yurkuyo. Danny Yurkuyo. Anyway. I had a great talk with him. I remembered that Julie kind of did him a little dirty on, well, not kind of. I would be fucking mortified if my wife fucking posted what she posted about him. But what to see exactly? What did he do to Julie? See how you word that? That's exactly how she left it. That's why. Hi, Janelle. Nice kid. Janelle Winston. That's why. Thank you, Sean. Great show. I'm smutting up the show that we had a Javier show. Want to see something cool? I'll show you something cool. Let's see, Javier Jaime, Sevan Rinsta. I'm going to show you this video I made today. This is the first time I've edited a video inside using Instagram. Kind of weird. It's because it's so tedious. But I want to show you this video. Settings, share. Wait, what am I doing? I have to pee so bad I can't think straight. You know when that happens? Like I'm like squeezing. Please go away, pee. Yes, Sevan has the best podcasts. Yes, I agree. And the best people who work for free also. So what did he do? So maybe I could get him to come on and tell his side of the story. I don't know. It's a little lecherous on my part. Let me see if I can make this bigger. How do Caleb and Souza do that? Make this bigger. How do I don't know how to make this bigger. Like I do plus and minus and it doesn't work. They do like some Zoom thing. Anyone know? Can anyone share with me? How do they make the image bigger? That would be amazing, right? That would be crazy. But I know that I'm not very fond of his. I'm not very fond of her for some of the stuff she did during the I'm out portion of life. Anyway, I'm going to play this for you, and you're going to see. My kids obviously do CrossFit, and you're about to see how strong a CrossFit child is. By the way, the parents were tripping on the other parents were tripping on how strong Avi is. It's weird because I don't see it because I take it for granted. But in this one match you're about to see, picks that kid up, puts him down like it's nothing, right? And Avi's barely 8. And then there's this girl. This is in the final match. For those of you who are worried about him wrestling with a girl, don't be. The girls at this age are savages. This is in the final. Girls dominate jiu-jitsu in the 6, 7, 8-year-old categories for sure. Even in 9. But basically, yeah, that's hard to watch. There he is with his coach. His coach, this is the one. This is a big kid. Now watch this. This kid's got Avi's single leg. Look at, he has Avi's single leg and he takes Avi down. No, I didn't show this morning. Easy, Jay Hartle, easy. Now watch this. I didn't show this morning. He takes Avi down with a single leg. Avi grabs him fucking on his glutes. And from the lunge position, picks him off the ground and sets him down. Yeah, he choked her out. She didn't like that. Yep. Yeah, she's about to pop her head off. And you know what's crazy? You should hear the parents yelling. Yeah, was that you yelling, squeeze, Avi, squeeze? Yeah. You know what? I want to be completely honest with you. The only reason why I did that is because the mom, the entire match, that chick was savage. She was big and fast and more coordinated and just dominating. And then finally, when Avi fucking got on her back, I was like, all right, let me do a little screaming of my own. Yeah, she wasn't right. I asked Avi, I go, why did the ref stop the match? He goes, I was going to put her to sleep. Heidi, that's what he calls me. That means father in Armenian. He goes, I'm glad he stopped it. He goes, I'm sad when I saw her tears. I said, I hear you. I was sad too. Julie Fouché is a non-playable character with a medical degree after her name, completely programmed by social stimuli. Is that what non-playable character means? No, fuck no. No way. No way. Someone wrote in my comments that I said I would never let my wife, I would force my wife not to get an abortion or something. Because I said there's some clip where I say I would never want. I don't know what I said, but I basically was saying something like if my wife got raped, I would still raise the baby like it was my own. I'd never let her get an abortion. But I don't know what I said. But someone construed it as like I would force her not to. Like I can't force my wife to do anything. Like people read shit so fucking or hear shit so fucking weird. Fucking numbnuts. It should have been construed that I would support my wife, not that I would force her. You see it that way as force because you're a scumbag yourself. I'm not a scumbag. Not even a little bit. I don't even have a little bit of scumbag in me. I could pick up dog poop. Anyway, I was pretty proud. It's pretty crazy that you could. That's some cool CrossFit strength right there, right? There he is on the bottom. This is how strong he is. This is a big dude, way taller than him. Gets up from getting full, gets out from underneath a full mount, picks the kid up and throws him on his back. So good. This is kind of fucked up. He kicks this kid in the face. Ooh, sorry. Hey, none of this came easy, by the way. I'm telling you, the last 5 jiu-jitsu matches or tournaments we've been to before this have been a complete nightmare. The future is here. The future is here. Dana White should call and sponsor the podcast to sign. Oh, yeah. To sponsor the podcast, would I let Avi get some brain damage? For sure. I didn't know we were going to go there. I didn't understand that sentence at all. Was it a sentence I said? I don't understand half the sentences I said. One of these times, Sevan's going to piss himself. It hasn't happened. You know what's crazy too? Is I could be here and I'll catch my mind wandering about me imagining peeing in the yard. And that's like the worst thing you can do if you have to pee, is start seeing yourself pee. Oh, Jessica's here. Time to go. Guys, thanks for having me in your life for an hour and 45 minutes. Couldn't have done this without Paper Street and California Hormones. You guys know that. And tomorrow at 7 a.m., we have the Greg Whisperer on. You're not going to want to miss this. Emily Kaplan. We're going to talk about how she met Greg, what's going on, what she knows about the NSCA case, what's going on with the CrossFit book, what's going on with Greg's broken science. Maybe have her tell some funny stories that she knows. She's really in the know on a lot of subjects around the CrossFit ecosystem. She is a confidant to many, many, many people. That would that even surprises me. I think she's maybe even more in the know than I am. When is TDC coming on? Very soon. It's totally been mostly my fault. He keeps telling me to get the shit organized right, and I just need to do it. So very soon. All right, as they say in the hood. Thank you, Sean. God, you already said it. Thank you. Can we buy CrossFit back from the vultures? As they say in the hood.